Hi, I'm Sarah from Quail Cottage.
And I'm Katie from Grown by Lightning Hollows. We're two flower farmers here in Australia, and together we're your bloommates.
We thought we'd do an episode about each of our farms to start with to give you a bit more context. So I'm going to start with interviewing Katie about Grown by Lightning Hollows. You go first. So tell us a bit about your background and your growing space and where you are and how you got into growing, all of the intro stuff.
Yeah, cool. So my property is 25 acres, which sounds like a lot of land, but a lot of it is not usable because it floods. We bought the property to have space for our horses, and it's really great for that because in a drought there's plenty of feed because we get lots of moisture, but it doesn't do well in the weather that we're currently having, which is lots of wet. And we've been flooded for most of winter.
More than half of your property's underwater.
Yeah. And so, 25 acres, but think of it as maybe more like an acre, maybe. But originally had it for horses, and then started trying to get into gardening, liked the idea of homesteading type thing, so having animals and growing food. And I came across permaculture, which I really liked, as a, kind of holistic approach. And I kind of was traveling down that path, I guess, and was really interested in that and reducing waste and learning about composting and all of that when I started growing some flowers for the pollinators and became obsessed. Totally took over. Mm-hmm. And that's now the full-on obsession. I absolutely love listening to podcasts and watching YouTube and learning from farmers that way, and that was kind of how I started. I didn't really know anybody in my real life that was doing anything like this, and it was just, I just wanted to give it a go, and I kept it quite on the down low. I remember of just being I'm just putting in a little garden, and even this particular time when random lunch, friends and I were talking about what we do if we could do our dream job. And I was like, oh, mine's flower farming, and here's how I'm going to do it. I'm already growing the flowers. I have a sales outlet planned.
It's my dream job, and I'm going to make it happen.
Exactly. It's going to happen. I started out with just a 10-metre bed, and then gradually added more and more 10-metre beds until that particular area was full, and then moved on to another area. And then I kind of have a sprawling garden. It takes up quite a bit of space. I think we worked out it's about quarter of an acre if you include the actual intensive beds, but also we've got shrubs and some roses and foliage plants, those sorts of things. About a quarter of an acre.
And where are you?
Yes, in the Hunter Valley. So we're just outside of Maitland. And I guess we live on quite a busy road, which works out well for the way that we mostly sell, which is via a roadside stand.
Yeah, so Katie and I are 10 minutes apart from each other, for context, and we're in the Hunter Valley in New South Wales, near Newcastle, and weather-wise it is a temperate area. Yeah. We get a bit of frost, probably
a handful of frosts.
Maybe 10 frosts if we're lucky. No, the ground never freezes, it's just surface level frost. Yeah, that's our sort of climate.
Yeah.
We're close enough to the coast that it's not super dry. We get a good amount of rainfall and a lot of humidity, so we suffer with powdery mildew issues. That's our sort of climate.
I'd say we have fairly hot summers, the last couple of summers, 40-degree days, that kind of thing. But winters are fairly mild, maybe more low of a 18-degree day feels freezing to us.
Yes. Oh, too funny. But in as far as rainfall goes, we can experience drought here, but it's never we're not inland. Yeah. We're close enough to the coast. We're not past the Great Dividing Range.
Yeah.
This is actually a fun fact.
Yeah.
Did you know that the reason the inland areas deal more with drought is that the Great Dividing Range, that big mountain range, a lot of rain clouds can't get up and over the top. Yeah, there you go. Fun fact. You learned something new. So that's your background. So tell us about your customer base and who you sell to.
I sell out of a roadside stand at the front of our property. That's kind of my main revenue, I guess. And I've been doing that for 3 years, and I feel like over that time, it's just my customer base has just gradually built. I have a decent following on Instagram. I feel like people have found me that way, but also just people that are driving past and word of mouth, and that's really lovely. People are really supportive. It's an honesty system, and the majority of the time, people are fantastic. And it works really well for me, and it suits the style of flowers that I like growing. And then I do also sell to florists. That's been a little bit restricted by the volume that I grow, but I'm really hoping to address that this season. Hoping to, have enough to supply florists consistently. I find selling to florists quite stressful because I always want to have the perfect flowers for them and enough quantity. So I want to have more. I want to grow more so that I can say yes to more.
Because it's hard. You need to have enough flowers for your own customers.
It is.
The florists they're not extra, but your customers have to come first.
Yeah.
Because you've got set days that you put flowers out, and people expect to be able to pull over and get their flowers.
Yes, and I have tried really hard to be consistent with having flowers out. I sell over the weekend, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
You're so consistent.
Yeah, and almost to a fault, I guess, of even when it's disgusting weather and no one's going to want to pull over in my muddy driveway, I'm like, no, it's a Friday, flowers are going out.
Yeah. But this year you've expanded your growing space to sort of accommodate more florist sales, which is exciting.
And it'll be, it's changing the way that I grow in that sense. So it still feels like an untested theory, but upping the quantities. I should have larger quantities, but until they actually come about, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Has your business gone in the direction you thought it would?
Yeah, I do think this is kind of what I pictured for myself. Mostly selling retail.
You had this dream job idea and you were going to make it happen.
Exactly.
And you did.
Yeah, pretty much. I also, I do a few weddings, which I really like. Okay, really like is maybe a stretch. I really like agreeing to do weddings, but I find them stressful, but it's such a fun, creative outlet, I suppose. And I do find it really challenging, but I kind of am the sort of person that I like to be challenged.
Yeah. I feel like in the week leading up to a wedding, you are really stressed and why did I agree to do this? And then the day of, you're invigorated by it.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
And so I don't picture weddings ever being a major part of my business, but I do really like doing them.
Yeah.
And I hope it will be something that will grow, as I get more experience and more confident. Hopefully I will stress about it less. And there's definitely, every wedding there's something that you learn from. I definitely see that happening.
And weddings are a nice financial top-up to a
totally
flower farming business too.
Yeah.
What's your biggest challenge in flower farming?
Probably just lack of finding the time for things, which comes from, everyone's busy. I'm not saying this is the only reason, but having kids and having to fit flower farming around kids. And I'm really lucky. I have a very supportive husband who helps a lot. And
you're able to work part-time, which helps.
Yes, totally. Having that sort of flexibility is really great. But I
work part-time off-farm, we should clarify.
Yes. Yeah, I guess I kind of, any chance I get to spend time farming or doing flowers, that's what I will prioritise. Yeah, I don't have any
downtime.
Yeah. I don't really do downtime. But in saying that...
You don't like downtime.
No, exactly. And also, lots of farming jobs, your hands are busy and your mind doesn't necessarily have to be. So you're getting some sort of rest.
You can listen to a podcast.
Yeah, which I certainly do all the time. But I find the farming complements my day job or my off-farm job quite well. And so between the two of them, they work together, that I feel like I can be working constantly and not burn out. Potentially, we'll see. I think that's it. I'm pretty lucky. My son is very interested in farming. He's little, certainly, but
he just loves being outside.
He loves being outside. He loves being muddy. He loves sitting on the tractor. He loves sitting on the quad.
Very good at entertaining himself.
Yes, so I am really lucky in that sense. And we just kind of make it work. There are sometimes when I have someone else looking after them, or there's times when I'm getting jobs done with them, and
they just take longer, and that's fine.
Yes, exactly.
It's just all out there.
Totally. You have to give up a few flowers that get lost to, get lost to short stems and things, but you get there.
Yeah.
It all comes together.
And what would you say is your favourite farming job?
Well, one of my favourite things, I would have to say, is that there's so much variety. I don't know if there's one particular thing that I could do all day, every day. But I think harvesting is probably my favourite, because it's kind of seeing the rewards of all the work that you've put in is harvesting. Whereas comparing that to arranging, I do also enjoy arranging, but it feels like a job with a real purpose to me. Like, it's like I enjoy my time when I'm outside harvesting, and then I get in the shed with all my flowers, and the hard work happens to turn those flowers into bouquets.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I totally agree. The harvesting is almost like, I don't know, it's like the counting for me.
Yeah.
It feels like information and data. like counting cash at the end of the day.
Yeah, totally. I mean, practically what it is.
Yeah.
Especially for you when a lot of your harvesting would be for things that are already sold. So you will be getting the money for that.
It's not even about the money, but it's like that. This is a big word. That like quantitative visual. Like, my work has amounted to this.
Yes.
These buckets of blooms.
Yeah, that is so interesting. I feel like that's such a satisfying part of it.
Yeah.
And if I look at the other things that have given me joy and fulfillment in my life, it's always things that progress is measurable. Like, also being into horse riding. I really like jumping, because you can see your heights getting higher. Or interest, like lifting weights. You can gradually lift heavier weights.
Yeah.
I guess like with flower farming, that harvesting is the bit where you can see how you've gone a little bit. It's your results.
Yeah, it is your results.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. So you've expanded your growing space this year, which we mentioned, and you've basically expanded your growing space every single year.
Yes.
What has that gradual expansion looked like?
Part of it would definitely be towards the end of the season, when I'm like, I need to plant all my cool flowers. They need a space. I'm going to make a new space.
Because all the autumn stuff is still growing. You need it.
I don't actually know how you do that. I guess you have to leave beds empty at some stage, or you just keep growing. We'll see. But yeah, definitely part of it just continuing. I mean, very lucky that the demand for my flowers have continued to grow, so that feels like it's justified in expanding. And yeah, like we talked about, wanting to be able to provide more for florists. So I've put in 14 new 10-metre beds for this coming season, and particularly trying to be really strict with myself of not growing 100 different things in that area, growing things in bulk for wholesale quantities. And yeah, part of that is always forever looking for new things to grow as well, which is hard. And yeah, I feel like I'm getting to the stage where I need to really pull back on experimenting and finding new crops and solidify the things that I grow, just to streamline.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, when you are doing retail bunches, it's so easy to just have a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
I feel like you can have both.
Totally. Yeah.
You can have a little area that you experiment.
And I definitely think of my farm as that. I have two particular areas in mind, which are large quantities of things, and then another section which is literally like 1 metre by 2 metres of one thing, and then another thing and another thing.
Yeah.
However much I like.
Yeah,
that exactly made sense. It makes sense in my head.
You've got like your production spaces.
Yeah.
Where you've got long beds.
Yes.
And then you've got your mound.
Yes.
Actually, let's talk about your, like, how you grow and why you grow the way you do.
Yeah.
With the flooding in mind.
Yeah.
And do you want to describe the mound and why? Why the mound? And what is the mound?
Yes. So the mound is this just, I guess it's a 60-metre pile of rubble, which the previous owners had put in to, I assume, reduce noise from the main road that we live on. And before I started growing, it was just a weedy mess. It's too steep to mow, so it was just nothing. And yeah, at some stage I was like, Oh, actually, I just learned to use a whippersnipper, and I was like, I know what I'm going to do, and whippersnipped the whole thing and turned it into a growing space. And, the motivation there was just that it's an area that, okay, I want to say it can't be flooded, but I also don't want to put that out in the universe.
Oh.
But, like, it should never flood.
Shouldn't.
It should never flood compared to the rest of our area. And so it's got just really good drainage.
Yeah.
The downside of it is because it's rubble underneath, it's pretty poor soils. It's definitely a struggle to grow on.
Yeah, I feel like you've corrected that a lot, especially over the last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time I grew on it, I just bought in soil and things just did terribly. Probably the spring crops that were the first crop to go in, like, basically a waste of time. The summer things that year did a bit better and definitely got lots of flowers from them. And then the next spring, it started to improve. But yeah, I'm now, every time I plant, I add more compost and mulch, so trying to add organic matter. But if you go put a plant in deep, like if you go to dig a hole, you'll quite often hit a brick or something. Like it's rough, but yeah,
Stuff grows.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
It can be really productive. And I have proteas growing along one side of it as well, because I really, really love proteas. My property is not well designed, but they do seem to do okay there. Yeah, I'm kind of getting the hang of growing things in certain areas because my different patches have pros and cons. So, like, my delphinium, they do quite well in my orchard garden, which is really rich soil, and it's quite protected from the wind. It's also, the dahlias do quite well up there, whereas zinnias, they do quite well on the mound, which is poorer soil. It also gets a ton of wind through there, so I never tend to get powdery mildew because there's so much airflow going on. So, yeah, kind of just picking and choosing, and definitely constantly learning. Like, not saying I have it perfect.
And your orchard space as well is out of your 2 production areas. So the mound isn't one of the production areas.
No.
Katie's put the new 14 beds.
Yeah.
Are they 10 metres, you said?
Yeah.
14 10-metre beds. Do you call that the arena paddock?
It's called Buster's Paddock, which is the horse that lived there when we moved in.
Cute.
He came with my property. I've never grown it before because it's always been a horse paddock, and so it is a bit of a compromise. I've got more space for flowers, but currently with the flooding that we've had, that is a paddock that the horses would love to be in, and now they can't because I put flowers in there. So definitely don't feel like I have unlimited space. I always feel very, restricted, and I've taken this new space on. But it does also come with flood risk. It went underwater in May, in the flood that we had in May. And so that was a definite setback to, the crops. And we've recovered. They've mostly recovered. It's not going to be somewhere where I plant anything that's high value in terms of how much money I need to spend on them. They're going to be things that can be direct sown. Yeah, that is basically going to be cost of seed rather than anything I buy in plugs or tubers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as far as your growing spaces go, the orchard is your highest level as far as flooding goes. So that's where you would put your higher value things.
And it's also kind of become my perennial area as well.
Oh, yeah, it has.
Pretty much. It's either perennials or biennials in there.
Yeah.
Because, I feel like they can get established. And I have some...
They're in there for longer, which means a longer time period where there's a risk of flooding.
Yeah, 100%. Whereas, I thought of putting sunflowers actually out in our back paddock and thinking, well, they're super easy. If we didn't get a flood in the time it takes them to flower, that would be amazing. But likely they will. And my husband has talked me out of that because he thinks he doesn't think I can cope with the heartbreak if they were just about to flower.
It's
and then
so
we had a
true.
flood.
Because before you put your new beds in, in Buster's paddock, we talked about how you were just going to put low-value things in there, which you did. That's what you did. You put low-value things in there, and if they flood, that will be fine. Yeah. And that's easy to say in hindsight.
Totally. It was still very sad.
When beds go underwater, and not all the beds went underwater, only
about half.
Yeah. Only a few went under. It was really sad.
Yeah.
I was so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess I have also now raised those beds a little bit. It was a learning thing from that. they're still not flood proof, but they've got much better drainage.
Mhm.
I wasn't prepared for just tilling a horse paddock and planting into it. Like, I've never built beds that way. I've always
done it the no-dig.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And yeah, so definitely still learning in that sense. I really like the no-dig approach, and I would love to do it all that way, but I don't feel like I can at the scale that I'm kind of starting to be, just because the price of compost, the price of inputs, and so
And weed management.
Oh, yeah, totally. So yeah, now doing a bit
And
of
that side of the property is right next to these
yeah.
vacant paddocks that are full of paddock weeds that are so
and grasshoppers.
true.
The closer you get to those paddocks,
Yeah.
the more weed pressure and the more bug pressure. Yeah, it's unpleasant.
Yeah. Okay, so what does a week in the middle of spring look like for you?
My harvest week would normally be, well, I guess I have Tuesdays at home. Tuesdays are my solid working day, which is not usually harvesting. It's planting, weeding, growing time. I kind of divide things in my head between growing and harvesting. Yeah. And then I would normally harvest on Wednesday for florist orders for Thursday mornings. And then my build up to the weekend. Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, I am out harvesting. Sometimes, if I'm lucky, from 6 o'clock, and my husband will do bedtimes. But if not, more I head out at 7:38, harvest, arrange till 10 p.m. So that's a solid 3 hours. But yeah, in terms of what flowers I should have middle of spring, ranunculus will be hopefully a solid start, and then going into sweet peas, delphinium, larkspur. I guess it's that classic issue of not having good focal flowers, or something I struggle with, not having good focal flowers between ranunculus and dahlias. But yeah, heaps of just beautiful spring filler flowers. Yeah, always some sort of lace going.
Yeah, in spring we may not have as many focal flowers, but we've got so much variety and new flowers starting. I feel like every 2 weeks there's a new flower starting 100%. To bloom. It's my favourite time of year for that reason.
For me, bouquets just have such a different look in spring.
Oh, yeah.
They're much more wildflower. Which is amazing. And it's definitely...
I feel like it's funner for the grower.
Yeah, totally.
In spring.
Yes.
I don't know if your customers prefer summer and autumn bunches because there's more focal flowers, but I feel like spring is funner for the grower. Yeah, I feel like sweet peas definitely get a lot of attention. That's something something again. People love having sweet peas and love scent because it's much easier to get scent in bouquets in spring. Yeah, but a spring bouquet will take me longer than a summer bouquet. Like last night, working on flowers. Currently, I have stock, kale, daffodils, and ranunculus, and to come up with a bouquet that looks substantial is a lot harder than it is when you can just put some dahlias in a bunch with foliage and it's beautiful. So moving away from growing questions a little bit, do you consider yourself a business person? I would say no. I have never wanted to own my own business. That's just something that I've always thought, oh, no, that's not for me, but I'm working on it. I'm doing my best to get, improve that side of myself. Having last year, we started the harvest, which we said we'll talk about more in an episode, but it's kind of a more direct way of being able to sell to florists. That has really inspired me to take myself a bit more seriously and, scale up, I guess. And that means doing some things that I don't like admin, sending invoices. On time. All those unpleasant things. But I'm trying, and I'm trying. I guess I had previously always held myself back quite a lot and been just something that I do on the side. It's not my main focus. I'm going to keep myself small. Yeah, you had a hobby mindset, and now you've got a business mindset. Exactly. I've thrown it away. I'm done with that. I'm going for it. And now, Ian's fully on board too. It's his business too, which really helps, with motivation and 100%. Excitement about it. And reinvigorates things a bit. Yes, for sure. Yeah. And I feel like
there's definitely, so yeah, Ian, my husband, he's very driven by sales. That's kind of his world. And that's the sort of side of it that excites him. Like, he's interested in the money and the numbers and, reaching more people and all of that. And so sometimes I need to get my head a bit more into that to get him excited about the bit of it that I want to get excited about.
Talk about the data so that you can then talk about the flowers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And do you see Grown by Lightning always as a one-person business? Obviously, you mentioned Ian's involved.
Yeah.
Would you ever hire someone in the future, or you think you'll just keep it to the two of you?
I don't think so. And, I don't think I would hire someone. Part of that, it's when I hear other farmers talk about managing employees, the whole idea kind of makes me, it just doesn't seem like something that I would be good at or that I would like to do. I'm not very good at giving instructions, but I'm actually worse at correcting people when they do it wrong. And I know that from my off-farm job. I don't like training people. Maybe I shouldn't say that out loud in case my boss listens.
No, it's fine. It's part of your job. You don't have to like it, though.
Yeah,
there's parts of every job that we don't like.
Yeah.
You still do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will spend time thinking, this person is not doing it how I want it done, but I can't bring myself to change it. And I think that would just drive me crazy in a farm context.
Yeah.
And then also, as previously mentioned, I don't farm to do the business side of it. I do the business side so that I can farm. So I don't think that I would want to pay someone to do more of the farming side.
Absolutely.
Because then I'd be stuck more on a computer or inside. So I think I will be restricted by it being Ian and I. Plus, if I can work some people in to help, that's fine. I'm very lucky to have a friend who is looking to start a flower farm and comes and spends time with me so that she can learn, and I get free labour, and it's amazing. Definitely recommend finding yourself one of those.
The dream.
The dream, yeah.
I love that. So you've said you're not a huge business person. Do you have an area of flower farming that you're still working on, or any knowledge gaps you're wanting to fill?
I mean, yeah, definitely business, communication, marketing, all of that stuff. One of the ways I'm hoping to kind of help that this year is getting my own website. And I'm hoping that's going to kind of streamline communication, not so much with florists. I feel like that requires a lot of direct communication, but with retail customers, hoping that I can free up some brain space, not having to go back and forth so much when people just want to order a custom bouquet. It can just be something they go on a website and order it.
And
so, yeah.
Trying to keep track of all your Instagram messages.
Oh, yes, 100%. And sorry, that wasn't a direct answer to your question, but yeah, let's put the business side aside. I think just there's so much to learn, definitely just a constant improvement, but yeah, I really want to focus on efficiency. I feel like that's something that I want, even say up until this point, again, talking about mindset change, I have always made my bouquets individual. They're all different. If you come to my stand, you will see 20 different bouquets to choose from.
Yeah.
And I just think that's a bit unnecessary. I want to try and, have a couple of recipes. And I've always been a little bit put off by recipes thinking, it takes the creativity out of it. But
sometimes
I don't think it does. Yeah, I think I need to work on efficiency. So that's something that I'm hoping to...
Do you think you'll be able to do that without changing your crop plan? As far as harvesting goes, do you have the option when you're out there to harvest more of the same thing to be able to do recipes more? Or will you have to change your crop plan to be able to do that?
No, I think the way that I have tried to crop plan with this in mind, and it will be, it's definitely hard when you currently the flowers are only just starting in spring, so it feels limited. But there should be an abundance of flowers that it will be easy to make recipes with.
Yeah.
That's the goal. And also, one of my ways that I waste a lot of time is because my farm is quite spread out. So the way I've planned it, I should be able to say I have an area that will be dedicated to florist orders. So like the day when I'm harvesting for florist, that will all come out of 1 or 2 areas compared to having to visit all 5.
Yeah. Dragging your trolley along.
Yes, exactly.
Thank God for your trolley. All right, so what crops are you most looking forward to?
I've just finished dividing my dahlias, so I'm currently very in dahlia mindset and like working on my plan for that. I'm hoping to grow about 500 this year.
Oh, it's increased.
It has increased. I keep pushing other things out of the plan to make space for my dahlias. So I'm definitely looking forward to those. I'm really looking forward to my delphiniums this year because I grew a lot of delphiniums last year and I loved them. They were fantastic, but they didn't work super well for my retail bunches. And now that we've got more access to florists, I'm really hoping that my delphinium will be as beautiful as last year and that florists will appreciate them.
Oh, they
That's
will.
The dream, yeah.
If they were as beautiful as last year, they will be very much appreciated. They were epic. They were huge.
Yeah, they were. And now thinking about it was such a waste the way that I used it. I'm hoping that they will be appreciated and used to their
potential. They'll be put to
year.
more use.
Yeah, 100%, yes.
Yeah, because it was really hard for you to try and work them into your retail bunches. Yeah, because they were enormous.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm also, again, it's funny where your mind goes to. I'm really excited for sweet peas to be back. I feel like that's just something that I'm really looking forward to having. And I feel like something that I always struggle with is not having enough foliage. But I love the period where you have sweet peas and I cut them with the tendrils, and then that's my scent and foliage sorted in my bouquet.
Delicious.
And I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, I think that's it.
And I think a good question to finish with is the story, the origin of your name of Grown by Lightning Hollows.
Well, my first horse was called Lightning, and so when we bought our property, he was in his 30s, and so we were able to bring him from my parents' property to our place, and we knew that it was going to be, his final home, and so our property's name is Lightning Hollows, and then when we were starting, venturing into selling flowers, we kind of I wanted to leave it open to selling other products, and so I didn't want it to be a flower-related business. And so the way that I pictured it being would be grown by Lightning Hollows, like it was a perfume.
Oh. I love that. That's
that was what I pictured it. So it was just about being grown. I guess the act of growing was a really big part of it for me. I didn't know what we were exactly going to produce, but I wanted it to be local, small. Yeah, that was kind of the vibe I was aiming at. Yeah. So grown by Lightning Hollows.
Cute.
And no one says it the way that
I always picture it as grown by as in next to.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. I don't see the by being the person or the farm. I see it as
nearby.
Yeah, nearby.
Yeah. Oh, that's
grown
so
by Lightning Hollows.
It's a bit of a long name. I don't know if it was a smart name, but now it's stuck. There's no change in it now. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people just call you Lightning Hollows.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you Google us, Lightning Hollows as our property will come up.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well.
Hopefully that gives you a bit of insight into me and my little world. And
thanks for listening. If you made it this far, subscribe and follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, find us on Instagram and we'll have some photos to give, a bit more background.
Yeah, you need to put a photo up of the mound so people can...
The mound and
understand.
brag about my delphiniums.
Yes, absolutely. Maybe
the flood.
Some weeds too, just to make people feel a little bit better about themselves.
Yeah, totally.
Which on the mound is easy because, my gosh, Katie has the biggest battle with, what is that?
Vetch.
Oh my
Vetch is
gosh.
the current weed that I have, and it's also my current foliage, so I can't be too mad at it.
It's good and bad.
Yeah, but it is. It's running wild.
Yeah, it is wild.
It's even overtaking some of my proteas at the moment.
Mm-hmm. So check out our Instagram if you want to see a photo of the mound and the vetch taking over. But we'll see you on the next episode.
Yeah, next episode, tune in to hear about Sarah and Quail Cottage.
Yeah.